So just before video starts, I want to mention that I'm not a professional car photographer. In this video, I will talk about everything I know so far, and it might be useful for beginner car photographers. So if you didn't close the tutorial so far, let's go to the video. We are late as always. Our location is not open yet, so we are traveling to another one. This is my Bruda.
Hello.
You can see his face. So yeah, we are going to another location, and I think this will be good and might be better. Okay, so today we are shooting with Canon 5D Mark III using 28-75 Tamron lens at aperture 2.8, and we will shoot this car in aperture 5.6 because if you're shooting in 2.8 you will get your front of the car in focus and the back of the car will be in focus, so you don't need to do that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just keep your car clean and we will see how it goes. So. The reason we are choosing this lens over the 16-35 is because the 16 millimeters you will get too distorted, and you don't want to do this with car, and the face of the car should be like normal, not distorted and bended. So this lens is pretty good. You can I started shooting at 50 and then I'm shooting on 75. We will see how it goes with interior, but now I'm just focusing on taking good angles from the bottom of the car, and I will see how it goes from behind the car. One thing that I'm missing is the polarizing filter, because you can see a lot of reflections on the car. So what I suggest you, if you have money and you're able to spend a little bit more, to buy a polarizing filter, because it can remove any reflections on your car and it just looks better. I just came back home, I uploaded everything to my computer, and now I'm ready to edit my picture. Okay, so I'm in a Lightroom right now and I already chose a picture I want to edit, and yeah, we can start from here because I didn't make any crops, any settings, it's just raw picture. So first of all, I saw that this is incorrect in white balance, and when I was shooting I forgot to set it up, and now I have to give it more warmth because it's too cold for me, and I will increase it just around 12,000 because I can see the color of the car. It's like more realistic and it's more to the real color as we have. A little bit more, so yeah, around 14,000 is good for me. It might be different for you, so keep that in mind and don't just copy everything I do. So then I will create a 4x5 crop because it's Instagram crop, and I will upload this to Instagram. I will crop it right like that, and this looks pretty good to me. So first things I will do, I will remove highlights and shadows in this picture because we don't have any details in sky already, and shadows I want to be dark because I will create this kind of moody theme to this picture. So yeah, this is what I will do with shadows and highlights. Whites I will increase it a little bit, around 40, 43, I will leave it like this. Blacks I will reduce it by, let's say 12, because 12 is pretty good number for me. As you can see, we don't have many details in the bottom of the car, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. So I will do the faded look in tone curves, so keep with me and you will see how I make a faded look. Texture, I will increase it a little bit because I want some details in these bricks. So increasing by 26 makes these bricks sharper. Clarity, I will increase it a little bit more because it gives like kind of shape to this car, and I don't want to overdo it, but 20, around 20 I think was good enough. Okay, I will leave it 19, but around here I will increase it. Dehaze, I don't want to play with that because I don't want this sky to be bluish, so if you increase dehaze it will get bluish, so I don't want to do that. I will reduce it maybe, or maybe I will leave it on 0 and I won't play with that. Vibrance, I will increase it a little bit, just around 10, and if you want to play with saturation, if your picture is not saturated enough for you, you can play it with that. I will leave it at 0, maybe like -5, but I don't really need to play with that. So that's enough in basic tab, and now we are going to the tone curve. Tone curve is a very powerful tool and I will use it just a little bit, but this will give me effect I want to. And if you don't see a curve like me, just click this icon because you might see this one, and just click it to see this kind of linear curve. And you will need to add 3 points to the shadows, midtones and highlights. So I'm going to do the S-curve. It's very popular and most of photographers are using this. So you just increase your highlights a little bit, you reduce your shadows, and one thing I mentioned is the faded look in blacks. So I will increase my blacks a little bit, and you can see how it makes it faded, and it's not completely black, but it's faded. So now I'm pretty happy about this fade look, but one thing I don't like is the color of the windows. They are way too bluish, and next thing we are going to do is to select HSL color, and we will reduce this intense color in the windows. So I'm going to select saturation menu, and if you're seeing different view from me, you might be here or here, and you don't have this selector tool here. So if you're a beginner, I recommend you to go to HSL. You can select luminance, hue, saturation or all, and that's a little bit easier. So I'm selecting saturation because my windows are way too saturated, and you can just click and drop down your saturation until you're happy with that. So I think windows are less saturated and I'm pretty happy about it, and I will increase luminance a little bit, just like that. And yeah, this is looking pretty good to me already. So going to details, we have sharpening, and we can see already that this icon of the car is not that sharp. Maybe I shot in the wrong settings. So you can increase sharpening, but if you go too much, you will get a lot of noise. So I don't recommend going crazy with sharpening. Just a little bit, just maybe I will sharpen to 50 and use noise reduction for 10. So I think it's kind of same, but it gets some extra flavor to your image, so keep that in mind, that you can add sharpening but don't overdo it. So detail, that's enough. And lens correction, I don't use this for. I forgot about tone splitting. Tone splitting is very nice tool because you can select color for your highlights and shadows. So there's very popular teal and orange look where you add orange to your highlights and blue to your shadows. I will do it right now, and you will see how it creates that subtle view on your image. So for highlights, I will give it like 34 in orange, and for shadows I will create around 214, yeah, 214 for shadows. And you have to play with saturation just a little bit, because if you overdo it, it will look worse than it was before. So around 12 you can already see that we have some oranges and highlights. If you want to go more, you can go more, but I don't recommend overdoing it. So I will leave it as 15 because I can see it. And in shadows I will do kind of the same, around 13. Yeah, around 13 is good for my eye. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You can see how it was before and after the tone splitting. So this is what it does. It gives like this moody look to your image. As you can see, this is my final result and I'm really happy about it. I think this will help to sell our car. So if you liked the video, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and if you have any questions, please leave them down below.